You are listening to Midlife with Courage. Don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Now let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Midlife with Courage. I am Kim Benoit, your host, and I'm so happy to have you all here. I'm also happy to have my guest here with me today. Her name is Sophie Malahieude, and she is going to talk to us today about emotions and emotional balance, and I just cannot wait to jump into this. So welcome, Sophie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Kim.
Tell us about emotions. The one thing that we wanted to make sure that people hear, the women hear, is that emotions are not bad or good. Can we start there?
Yes. And of course, it comes with my personal journey. But what I came to realize is that emotions, they are not bad or good. They are a message for us to understand. I like to make a little metaphor with fire. If you think of fire has a purpose. The purpose of fire is to burn. Depending of the experience we have with fire, sometimes we think fire is bad when we burn ourselves, or fire is good when it warms our food or warms us. But at the origin, fire is only fire. It does what it has to do. Think of emotion. Emotion, they are not bad or good. Yes, we have emotions that trigger a difficult and challenging experience. Anger, fear, sadness. They are not emotions that we are super excited to feel. On the other side, you have happiness, love. So we are looking for those. At the origin, what do they do, emotion? They are giving us a message about ourselves that connect body, mind, and spirit. When I say it connects everything, is that first of all, when we feel an emotion, we feel the emotion in the body. If we are angry, we are red, we are tense. If we are sad, we might cry. If we are fearful, we can feel tightness in the body. And on the other hand, when we feel happiness, we feel lightness, breath is steady. So everything starts in the body. And when we move from the body, from what we feel and we are experiencing, then we can understand where we want to go.
Yeah, I love that. Sometimes, I think of myself as emotional, and I get stuck on that. But when you put it that way, that emotions are messengers and they're telling us things, that really turns it around in my mind, for sure.
Yes, I think also that unfortunately in the society we are living on, we see expression of our emotion as a weakness, and we are not supposed to express what we feel. Since we are very young, we don't cry because we don't want to show weakness. We don't express our frustration. And instead of having a healthy relationship with what we feel, what we experience in life, we suppress them. We suppress our emotion. We avoid them. There is two important aspects regarding emotion is that first we suppress them. So we think our emotion instead of feeling them. That, well, I was very sad with this episode, or I lost a friendship, or I lost my parent, and so it will be okay. It will be okay. And we stuff it without processing it. So this is the first point. The second point is avoidance. When we are facing an emotion that is awkward, unpleasant, we don't want to be there. Actually, nobody wants to be fully into their grief, fully into their sadness. So there is a aspect is avoidance. And we distract ourselves. We distract ourselves with an activity. It can be TV, reading, whatever it might be, seeing people going dancing. And all those activities are very healthy as long as we practice them to enjoy ourselves. As soon as we practice them not to face our emotion, we avoid our emotions. So again, emotions, they are not bad or good. They have a message for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I want to get into how they affect us physically too, but I want to go back and ask you, how did you come to this? How did you learn about this? Tell us your story.
Yes, so that's a very interesting story. So since I'm very young, I'm very curious about my mind. Always thought that the mind has big possibilities and we have to explore it. Later on, when I was about 25, I started to be interested in yoga. Because in yoga, they talk, it's about connection of the body, the mind, and the spirit. So, oh yeah, very, very good. Let's go there. And yes, and it is all of the above. But for me, the turning point was in 2016. My dad called me early morning, which was very early for him. It was 7 a.m. here in the United States to announce the passing of my mom. And it shattered my world, but at the same time, still in the aspect of I have to push forward, I have to carry the world, I have to put it all together, and I am strong. I did push forward. Now, if I explain a little bit my background in yoga, is that yoga helped me to really notice what's going on inside of me. And I think this is this background in yoga, understanding my mind, that gave me the impulse to move forward. But the wake up call, if you want, was 4 months after my mother passed away. I went to visit my yoga mentor, and she asked me how you are doing. And I said, everything is fine. Remy was looking for a job and he found a job, my husband. And then the children are good. And I finally made peace with the passing of my mom. Everything is fine. I said, okay, good. Very happy to hear that. There is one thing though. Every time I go up the stairs, I am out of breath. I still practice yoga meditation every day. I teach. And yet I am out of breath. I don't understand. And I went to the doctor for a checkup and he said that everything is fine and my lungs are clear. So nothing, I didn't hurt myself. And she let me in the moment of silence. And she said to me, do you know, Sophie, that we hold grief in the lungs? And in my mind it was, of course I know. Of course I know. And then my second thought was, of course I know. But did I pay attention? And when I was driving back from this meeting with my mentor, I realized that I was trying to bypassing the process. And this is exactly what we do with our emotion. We have emotion every day. It's not about controlling the emotion. It's not about avoiding emotion. It's really to understand what they have to say. I was trying to bypassing the process just to feel happy and fine again. And the process for me was diving deep into myself. So I would say that the background of yoga, mindfulness, Ayurveda helped me to, at this point in 2016, to build all that process that helped me to move to the other side, because there is an other side.
Yeah. A good side, a good side.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's such a good point because obviously, myself, I've done this before where something is really bugging me and I'm fine. It's fine. Just go along. But eventually it's not fine. And my body tells me. And your body was telling you by that shortness of breath going up the steps.
Yes.
So we really need to pay attention to that. How can we go within ourselves? What if we're not a yoga person or we've been taught that? What can we do?
Yes. And most of the time, because we always look to bypass the process, we can go to see a doctor and so, oh yeah, you have a shoulder pain. So let's take some medicine, do physical therapy, and then off you go. The thing is that if we don't realize what is the shoulder pain related to, so we have to fix the shoulder and then the pain is going to move into another place. So before I explain how we can move forward in a way that we stop and pay attention, then let's explain what an emotion is also.
Yes.
An emotion, beyond being a messenger, it's an energy. Everything around us is energy. The food you eat, the water you drink, everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy. You have good thought, everything is fine in your body. You are stressed, you have stressful thought, and all your organs are going to contract. What is happening is that when the energy is flowing, we are healthy, we are fine. When the energy is blocked, that the process is disrupted, then it builds as tension. So that's very interesting to observe that in the body. You don't need to be a yoga a practitioner or yoga teacher to understand that. Mm-hmm. You can feel in your body when there is tightness. It means that there is a flow of energy that is not moving, that the flow is disrupted. And so the emotions, they are exactly the same way. So how do you notice? I would say that the first aspect is to observe yourself, how you are feeling and where do you feel tension. And there is also little idea, because when energy is not flowing, if in my case, after 4 months, it was the beginning of my breath that was not working as naturally as it should be. It could have built into something more chronic illness. Who knows? Mm-hmm. It definitely would have built in anxiety and depression, because anxiety and depression is really linked to the breath. If you are not breathing properly, then you are not oxygenating your cells, your brain, and so it builds anxiety. Think of every time you are afraid, you hold your breath. Yeah. When you hold your breath, then there is no oxygen going to the brain. And it becomes kind of a behavior, then it's a cycle and create a pattern in the mind. So the first point I would say that the moment every single day to be mindful of what you feel in your body. I remember when I was a teenager, I was, 16 years old, and I had this teacher that I didn't like at all. It was an economy course that I was taking. And every time I started the course, and then at the end of the course, I had a little pimple on my cheek. And so after a few times, one of my friends who was always sitting close to me, she said, Sophie, that's weird, because every time we go into that class, you always have a pimple on your cheek when we leave the class. And 1 hour later, it was gone. And I was like, my God, I am allergic to this teacher. And so, and that's how the body communicates. So I'm sharing with you this funny story, but it's true for everything. Every time you see someone, if after that you have a pain in your throat, you have a pain in your belly, I don't say, don't see your friend. I said, what's going on here? What is going on? In my case, when I was moving all the layer regarding the grief of my mother, right? I was removing, the first layer I had to remove was anger. From anger, I had to remove sadness. From sadness, I was removing regret, shame. And at the bottom of it was fear. And everything I was feeling regarding the relationship that I had with my mother, then I realized that at some point I didn't stand up for myself. So all the tightness in my chest, all the tightness in my throat was not because my mother was not a good mother. She was a beautiful and wonderful woman and a great mother who loved me a lot. I was not standing up for myself to say, oh, you know what? You think this way. I still love you. I think that way. And when we observe how we feel in any moment in our life, then we receive the message. So let's go back to the example. You have a shoulder pain that you built for some months now. You went to physical therapist. You go regularly to the doctor. Keep going those. It's not about replacing one treatment over the other. It's just to move the physical experience into the mind and the body. The first way the emotion expresses itself, it's in the body. So you want to help the emotion complete its cycle. So I feel a hand in my shoulder. When did it start? Did it start when I started this job? Did it start when I was in conflict with my friend? Did it start when I was starting to change my diet? Did it start because some of my friends or my children or my parents, they have an experience I cannot help and I'm trying to help? So it's a burden on my shoulder that is not mine to carry.
Yeah.
So it's a journey. It's a journey, but it can really start simply. Just observe yourself. Breathe in, breathe out. And then from here, support your body, your mind, your spirit to recreate movement. If you feel the shoulder, and again, it's the shoulder, you fell down, you break your shoulder. Yeah, of course, this is
Then
an
we know.
accident. Yeah, we know. I'm just talking about the case we don't know.
Yeah.
When we have a recurrent situation coming always over and over. Same thing with the sleep. If slowly you start to have a difficulty to fall asleep, or you don't sleep very well, or you are not having a restful sleep, ask yourself, what's going on in my life? What's going on in my life? And I would say if there is three points you want to check on a regular basis with yourself is the digestion, the elimination, and the sleep. This is the first place when we feel that, there's something going on there. Well, digestion can be really very often related with what we eat, but it can be also related with what we feel, I remember the day I received the news regarding my mother. I pushed it through the day, didn't talk to my children because I was not ready to talk to my children. Only my husband was aware of it. And I was cooking, and I sit in my kitchen in the afternoon, and I gave myself permission to cry and feel miserable for everything. And then I was eating a piece of chocolate cake that someone gave me a few days ago. And it was ashes in my mouth. It was feeling ashes in my mouth. And I said, oh my God, it doesn't taste like usual. I mean, it's how strong the body can help us to understand. And then, we have to be willing to go there.
Every week on Midlife with Courage, we share stories that remind us we're not alone. Now, I'd love to take that conversation one step further. It's Not Just You is a 4-week workshop where we'll discover the ways we've learned to shrink ourselves and practice taking up space with courage and confidence. Because listening can inspire us, but practicing creates lasting change. If you're ready for that next step, click the link in the show notes to join the priority list. I hope you'll join me this September. Yeah, we have to be willing to go there for sure. I love that, Sophie, that body, mind, spirit. That's so important for us to remember. One thing that I was thinking about too, as you were talking about, if you break your arm, obviously, the pains from that. But most of the women that are listening have either gone through menopause or they're in perimenopause, and we have all these symptoms going on from that. So it's even more important to me, what I'm taking from that is more important for us to really ask ourselves these questions. What is going on? Why am I having frozen shoulder or, the hot flashes? We know usually that's what that's from, but how does that all work with these emotional messengers as well?
Yeah. And again, it's so important, particularly in this period of midlife or when we move toward menopause, is that if you ask your doctor, is always, that's the menopause, it will go away.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's normal. Well, like everything is a cycle, for the hormonal system in a woman, it's fluctuating and it's evolving, and there is a cycle as well. It doesn't mean that all the symptoms that we are receiving, like we have hot flashes, and then we have a hard time to sleep, and then we have health conditions that are different. Again, take the support you can receive. And at the same time, it's the body that is giving is a sign. now in my life what I am ready for. Maybe I had my career behind me, or I am in shift in my career. My children, they were at home. Now they are not at home anymore. Maybe through my life, I went through difficult relationship experience and I am divorced. And all that, we keep pushing forward, think, oh yeah, tomorrow will be better. Well, at some point, let's take and sit and grieve and feel. And particularly when we move through menopause, we have all those emotions coming up. They are not because of menopause only. They are also because they are accumulated unresolved emotion that are using the opportunity to keep bugging, Or let's say an example, I divorced 10 years ago, but I pushed forward, didn't process the divorce. And then you move through menopause. And then in between, your children are leaving the house. So, and all that, we don't take time to process. And as we don't take time to process, then menopause is arriving with all those fluctuation in hormones, and then, it's very hitting me hard.
Yeah.
So let's take a moment, and I think menopause would be a beautiful moment. Do what you have to do to support your body, and in addition, take care of your emotion. What is unresolved? I remember one day I was leading a workshop about emotion. And one of the women at the end, she shared with us, well, I came here because I'm divorced for a few months now and I signed the paper and it's fine. And somehow I am grieving. I'm not grieving that I'm not with my husband anymore because I'm peace with that. But what I realized, I didn't grieve my identity. I didn't grieve the fact that I was a wife to a single woman.
Sure.
And she realized how powerful she is as a human being, and that being as a wife or a divorcee or single, it's labels. It doesn't define who she is. And it's what is important for us to receive from our emotion is that actually, I like the word grieving because what is grieving is a process to make peace with our emotions. And we can grieve everything.
I just had a little light bulb go off when you said that. Say that again, because that's so important.
Yeah, grieving is a process to make peace with our emotions. And we grieve every single day. You receive the visit of your friend or family member for a weekend. You have a fantastic weekend. And then on Monday, you go to work and somehow you feel a little off. Take a moment, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes and say, oh my God, I had such blessing time with my friend.
Yeah.
And I feel sad they are gone. Name your emotion. I am sad. Okay. I recognize I'm sad. They are gone. Inhale, exhale, let it go. And then you move forward. And I would say that if you are interested in integrating this process in your life, do it regularly with tiny thing,
Yeah.
When I give my clothes away, I grieve them because I had such a great time in this dress. But this dress, I don't wear it for 5 years. Doesn't make sense for me to keep it. So I donate it. And when I do that, I have my little, grieving process. I'm giving away. Someone is going to be happy with this dress, right?
Yeah.
So start with tiny thing and then move on to what is more heavy in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we get stuck, or I would get stuck anyway on, okay, I lost someone or something, and I get stuck on that. Like, I lost this person, or I lost this identity, or whatever it is, or the dress I loved. And we get stuck on that. But if you turn it to the emotions, that makes so much more sense to take that grieving and apply it there. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, because then the emotion can complete its cycle,
Yes.
Like I make peace by, I don't this dress is not my identity. I am
Yeah.
who I am. I don't need the
Right.
dress to be who I am.
Right.
So when I make peace with that, I move. The thing is that probably we are very often, it's a little thing that trigger all the emotion we didn't process.
Right.
So all the emotion we didn't process when we move into midlife, and then suddenly a friend of us said, "Oh, you know what? I don't want to do this book club anymore because I don't get benefit of it." And then that book club that we do for 3 years, you don't, and then it's a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not because the friend is leaving the book club. It's all the emotions that we didn't process before that are coming up. So we're
Right.
to blame our friend for our own misery. And so it's kind of a cycle and we are attached to everything when we
Yeah.
have to, and it's a big topic when I work with people is understanding what is detachment.
Yeah. Well, it's easier to put that blame on someone or something else because then you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
Because dealing
definitely.
with it is tough,
So
but worth it.
yeah. And
Oh
so
my gosh.
I can really understand that as I was opening the door of grief. The first emotion was anger, and I was angry at my mother.
Yeah.
And when you dig up, you think, oh well, so I'm not angry at my mother. I am angry at myself because I
It's
didn't do
myself.
what I had to do.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
so interesting. And I love how you do that in the book. You show those different layers. And I also, what I love about the book is it's your story. You intersperse it with the lessons that you learned so that you can share it with all of us. And I love it when it's so much nicer to read for one thing and it's easier to connect with you as well. So very nice. Very nice job on that. So,
well, so thank you. And
yeah.
that also every time I read a nonfiction book and I can relate to what the writer is writing, then I understand the message better. I remember read book as oh, wow, this author, he wrote the book just for me. Yes, like thousand and thousand people might think, you know.
Yeah.
And I wrote the book in the same spirit, using my life experience and incorporating everything I learned over the years in mindfulness and yoga. And you don't need to be a yoga practitioner to receive from the book.
Right.
The
Right.
point is that you can relate to the experience and apply it on yourself right away. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because I always, when I'm preparing for these interviews, I take notes and you have covered everything that I wrote on my notes. So I love it. We are
There
in
we
tune.
go.
We are
Yeah,
connected.
yeah.
So that's amazing. So where can people find the book if they'd like to get it? And tell us what it's called too. I don't think we've said the title.
Yes, the name of the book is Beyond Emotions. Stop letting, well, so Beyond Emotion on Amazon, you will find it.
Okay.
And even if Beyond Emotion, put my first name, Sophie, and my book will pop up.
Okay. We'll put the link in there too. And then do you have a website where people can find you?
Yes, if you are curious about my work, you can visit my website. Is my full name, sophiemalahieude.com. Yeah.
And we will put that in the show notes as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so wonderful. There's so many things I feel like this could be like a series
Yeah,
of podcasts here.
definitely we could do a series because when we think about emotion and we understand they have a cycle, they start in the body, we assess them, we understand them in the mind, and we free the mind and the spirit, and everything is aligned. Yeah, there is very one step after the other. Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's amazing. And thank you so much for sharing that with the world. So,
Thank you so much.
yeah, we do have to say goodbye. But before we do that, is there one more little message you want to give our listeners, advice or something you didn't get to talk about?
Just repeating one sentence regarding the emotion. Emotion are messenger. They are not a punishment. They have something to tell us.
Thank you so much, Sophie. I hope that we get to talk again soon.
Thank you. Me too.
Thank you for listening to Midlife with Courage. If you liked what you heard, I would love it if you would leave a review. Or even better, send a link of this episode to a friend who needs it. Until next time, take care of your beautiful self.